Everybody, it's John Kadlic, the CEO here at Parallel Path with the latest edition of Trail Talks. Today I'm with my old friend Jeff Tritt from Onward Growth Partners here at High Banks Metro Park, north of Columbus.
Beautiful.
Beautiful day, and dogs barking in the background if you can't hear that. So maybe to get us kick-started, Jeff, you could spend a minute telling everybody what Onward's all about and what you do there for people and companies.
Yeah, well, I work with leadership teams of all different sorts of companies, different industries, different categories, different size. But basically what I do with them is I start with the CEO and the top leadership team and get everybody kind of working on the same page, knowing what they're doing, knowing where they're going, and helping them grow their businesses.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I know you care deeply about sort of team health, culture, and kind of personal health and wellness. So I imagine since you work across a variety of companies, you see a variety of things. Maybe you could highlight some companies, you don't have to name names, but like companies that are doing really well when it comes to team health and the kinds of things they're doing, and maybe contrast that with people that are struggling in that regard.
Yeah. Well, I think really the way that I approach my work with all of my clients is I really approach the leadership work and getting everybody together as a leadership team through the lens of experience design. And we've heard it in our product companies and our service companies around experience design for your customers. But I see leadership as the ultimate experience design because the leadership team, how they get along, how they work, how they get people rallying in the same direction creates an experience for the people that work in that company and spoils to the teams that actually create an experience where people feel valued, feel heard, are doing the best work of their lives. So that's kind of the approach that I take. And it helps the leadership team understand that they're not just the bosses, they're responsible for the environment where great work should come from. So I would say that, the teams that do it well, they lean into that, they lean into their own growth, and they're really trying to pay attention to how they're creating an experience for their people. And the teams that don't do as well are teams that are less focused on the people that are actually delivering all their goods and services.
So when you're first entering a place and maybe you're getting a lay of the land, are there some signals that stand out to you that says, hey, this place might need some work because they're not really giving it its fair attention when it comes to team health?
Yeah, there is. A lot of times I start with the top team, and really when you go into a team for the first time, you can get a sense of who's really on the same page, who's really working together, and who's kind of working around each other. And not always in a toxic way. It's just there's the level of closeness, the level of resonance between them is very different. And so I think that's really what you're looking at. Teams that are doing really well are really candid with each other. Okay. And they do it in a way that's not off-putting, but it's because they care about the experience they're trying to create. So the value of truth is even greater. So that's one of the things that I think is where I can kind of tell where the team is how candid they are. And so part of my work, apart from putting in operating systems for them, it's really trying to increase the level of candidness of that senior leadership team, because as that team goes, so goes the rest of the company.
Right.
So yeah.
So that's an interesting topic, because I'm sure a lot of people struggle with candidness becoming personal.
Yeah.
When it's really in service, like you said, to the greater experience or to the company itself, or however you want to phrase it. How do you get people over that hump? There's a million things, but is there like one or two things that stand out to you?
Well, there's a couple of things that I do over time. First, it's like you're kind of just assessing, seeing how it works. But there's a number of models that I use, and I don't pull the same models out all the time when I'm trying to get teams strong. But the very first thing that you have to go work on with the team is trust. Because if the team doesn't trust each other, if you don't trust me, I can't really give you the kind of feedback that you need to hear, because it's always going to be kind of mapped with all this other stuff. But in the way that one tool that I use frequently is the Lencioni 5 dysfunctions of a team.
Yeah.
And we just start at the base, and we have a conversation with the team about trust. And we kind of understand what the definition looks like. We have them rate themselves on trust, 1 to 5. And the goal is, it doesn't matter if they're a 3 or a 4 or whatever. The more important conversation is getting the team to start talking about how could we be even more trusting. And then it's the whole kind of agile kind of development, improve, get better. But that model is really helpful for the team because it's, first of all, you got to have trust.
Yep.
Once you have trust, the reason that trust is so important is because then it allows you to have conflict. And conflict is a good thing. That's where all innovation happens. But teams that don't trust each other will never have conflict. Those are the meetings that you leave that are, everybody's just bored.
Right.
Everybody's bored.
I agree. You agree?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. And then once you have the conflict, so if you and I kind of duke it out on a conflict, we're going to make a decision, we're going to go somewhere. But because I've been heard, I'm going to be way more committed to actually getting that work done.
Yeah.
So commitment comes as a result of better conflict. And then from there, once you're committed, then you can go to work on accountability, because it's like, no, I weighed in on this. This is my stuff. I'm going to do this, and we're going to get it done. And then results come out the top.
Okay.
And so a lot of times, I think when teams are maybe in disarray, they're starting from the top. We got to change the results, and they think it goes that way. But it's actually the inverse. It's from the bottom up. Yeah.
Interesting. That's good. Well, maybe you could tell me one thing you do for your own personal health and wellness to kind of exercise the proverbial muscle.
Yeah, well, for me, it's like I am an outdoors person. So I'm always in the metro parks, walking around, where all my trips are often to the mountains to go hiking. I like, for my own personal wellness and kind of mental wellness, like I'm always learning and growing. So a lot of times I might do a vacation, but I'll tie some kind of learning into it, because I'm just a geek that way.
Yeah.
So whether it's a yoga retreat or a breathing retreat or whatever, just things to help do self-care better.
Yeah.
And I'm just a curious about finding out new ways to do that. So yeah.
Well, it's been fun reconnecting with you, my friend, and
Likewise.
getting some time together on the trail. So once again, that was Jeff Tritt, my old friend from Onward Growth Partners. We'll see you out on the trail again here soon. Take care, everybody.